Hello heroes of the Dominion. This is Zeus from the Olympus Guild. Today we are going to discuss Dante. After a bit of rework, Dante has become one of the best heroes in Hero Wars. He is a top-tier marksman, and should be added to your roster as soon as he becomes available. We'll start this tutorial by checking Dante's skills and first artifact. Then we will break down the best combinations and what to avoid. Now, let's get started. The first skill we'll cover is Instrument of Fate, Dante's white skill. With this skill, Dante throws 4 spectral spears at multiple enemies, dealing physical damage and pushing the targets back. The damage is calculated as 220% physical attack, plus 100 times his level. Remember, patronage can increase this number. In our case, we have 169,307 damage. Again, these stats are if Dante is maxed out and has Cain for patronage. Instrument of Fate is the strongest skill that he possesses. It does an incredible amount of damage. As an additional benefit, is the ability to push opposing heroes back. With them all grouped together in the backline, they are open to attack from all heroes. The only downside is when the opponent uses a hero like Dorian. His violet skill, Initiation, increases vampirism of nearby allies. This means all of the opposing heroes will benefit from this skill when pushed together. To be most effective, Dante needs armor penetration, critical hit chance and increased physical damage. For armor penetration, you can add Elmir, Fox, Isaac, Morrigan or Qing Mao. For a critical hit bonus, you can use Ishmael, Jew, Sebastian or Yasmine. And lastly, for an increase of physical attack, you can use Arachne, Artemis, Daredevil, Dark Star, Dorian, Galahad, Ginger, Kark, Keira or Nebula. Next we'll look at Dante's green skill, Foresight. This skill will increase all allies' dodge by 5 seconds. This is calculated by multiplying 18% physical attack, plus 3 times his level. For this battle, the dodge bonus will be 13,179. Again, this is if Dante is maxed out and has Cain for patronage. The green skill combined with the first artifact skill, Spear of Fate, increases dodge by 8,898 for 9 seconds. This applies to all allies and will keep them protected from physical attacks. Next is the blue skill, Retribution. With this skill, when dodging damage over 5% of total health, Dante conjures a spectral spear and throws it at the nearest enemy. With Dante being maxed out and having Cain as patronage, this equates to 80,200 damage to enemies. Lastly is Dante's violet skill, Shackles of Weakness. When a spectral spear from Instrument of Fate or Retribution hits an enemy, Dante decreases the target's main stat by 5 seconds. This skill makes opponent heroes more vulnerable. You'll see a drop in the health of heroes that are attacked by him. As an added bonus, this skill has perfect synergy with Corvus's skills. Now, we will move on to our favorite subject, combinations. Olympus defines the best combination as any group of heroes that can kill or defend the most widely used teams in the game. The first combination we will analyze is Dante, Corvus, Isaac, Sebastian, and Martha. Many consider this a meta team and it all centers around the synergy between Corvus and Dante. Corvus's white skill, Strike of the Damned, decreases all opponent defenses, which include armor and dodge. This, coupled with Dante's violet skill, Shackles of Weakness, make for quite the dynamic duo. As we mentioned before, for Dante to be successful, he needs armor penetration and critical hit chance. This is where Isaac and Sebastian come into the picture. Isaac will provide plenty of armor penetration with his weapon artifact, Lil Teslin. He will also assist the team with mages, by absorbing magic damage with his green skill, MP300 capacitor. Sebastian provides critical hit chance with his blue skill, striking solo, and his weapon artifact, Old Loot. Additionally, Sebastian's white skill, Ode to Serenity, removes all debuffs and conjures a shield that prevents them from being applied. Lastly, we'll use Martha to speed up the team with her white skill, Foremother's Oath. She'll also keep the team in good stead with her blue skill, Tea Party, and her violet skill, Healing Brew. The following modifications can be applied to your builds, based on your opponent's team structure. If, for instance, your target is primarily made up of physical heroes, you can replace Isaac with Morrigan, whose weapon artifact, Raven's Skull, will provide armor penetration. Her white skill, Army of Graven, will prove to be a nuisance, as she summons 3 undead skeletons that become targets for physical teams to contend with. She also has a natural synergy with Corvus and increases his white skill, Strike of the Damned, by 10%. In return, Corvus will increase Morrigan's physical attack and magic attack, with his green skill, Unity of the Damned. If you find yourself up against a strong mage team, replace Martha with Dorian. Dorian will add more physical attacks with his artifact team buff and his white skill, Fountain of Blood, which will heal any ally who attacks the blood mark he casts. This will prove to be fruitful as Dante attacks often, and will benefit from this skill. Here is a list of teams that the above-mentioned build can defeat. The first is Aurora, Orion, Helios, Sebastian, and Dorian. Next is Aurora, Krista, Lars, Celeste, and Martha. Then there's Astaroth, Kark, Sebastian, Isaac, and Martha. Finally, Aurora, Celeste, Yasmine, Sebastian, and Isaac. These are the most common teams you'll come up against, that can be bested by Dante. Do not worry if you don't have Corvus, you can use Astaroth, Aurora or Andvari as your primary tank. We've even used Chabo with surprising success. For those players that don't have Corvus, Dante also performs very well with Aurora, Astaroth and Andvari as replacement tanks. If you decide to use Astaroth, then the team should look something like this. Astaroth, Dante, Isaac, Sebastian, Martha or Celeste. Before we go to Dante's defensive team, I want to share 2 more effective compositions. The first is Elmir, Dante, Nebula, Sebastian, Jet or Dorian. This build is highly effective, and it is in large part due to Elmir's artifact skill, Blades of Many Truths. This artifact is boosted when he uses his white skill, Shifting Sands. It triggers an effect that gives bonus stats to the entire team for 9 seconds. Due to Dante's weapon artifact, Spear of Fate, and his book artifact, Book of Illusions, his dodge stat is boosted immediately. When backed up by Nebula and Sebastian, this combination kills the entire enemy team with ease. Because of this, Elmir and Dante have a high synergy and can produce a respectable success rate in many offensive battles. The final offensive team is Dante, Nebula, Sebastian, Jet, and Dorian. When using Jet, you must be careful against Helios, as she can counter him quite easily. As for this build, not much is needed to be said. Dante is receiving physical attack buffs from Dorian and Nebula's. He is also being endowed with critical hit chance from Sebastian's artifact team buff. These, in combination, make for a very effective team. Our final topic, and possibly the most important, is Dante's defensive team. We only need 2 builds that will cover most situations that you will encounter. Both recommendations are the product of extensive testing inside Olympus and from years of gameplay. The core of these combinations are as follows. Lilith, Dante, Sebastian, and Martha. The only variable is swapping out Isaac and Rufus and vice versa. The key to these defenses is Lilith and Martha's synergy. Lilith's violet skill, possession, and Martha's white skill, Foremother's Oath, make it nearly impossible to kill this team. Dante's role is simply to destroy the opponent's attacker, allowing Lilith to increase in health. This will conclude our tutorial for Dante. We've included 3 more battles for you to review. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and be sure to subscribe. To stay up to date with all the latest content, turn notifications on. Thank you for watching and we'll see you next time.